welcome everybody to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. We got breaking news. As probably about 20 minutes ago, maybe 30 minutes ago, half an hour, whatnot, Chicago Bears did announce. NFL.com is reporting, Adam Schefter is reporting, all the media pundits are reporting that the Chicago Bears have hired what many wanted in Chicago, many people are now getting. The new head coach of the Chicago Bears will be offensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson.
They move quick, don't they?
They did move quick. I know early on today, I want to say this morning, I did read that Ben Johnson did notify Campbell, his former boss, that he will not be back and that he will be getting a head coaching job somewhere else. He didn't say where. I know there was a lot of media reports stating that Tom Brady and the Las Vegas Raiders was in on it, that they were going to take their shot. Some people even had predicted him to go to Las Vegas because Tom Brady was just there in Detroit during that game, and many people were speculating that maybe Tom Brady will get a chance and an opportunity to speak to Ben Johnson to possibly convince him to become the next head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. As we see, Chicago Bears move swiftly, and now the Chicago Bears have many people are high on, and many people thought and wanted Ben Johnson to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears to further develop Caleb Williams and bring some type of semblance of an offense to the Chicago Bears.
It'll be interesting to see when we get the numbers on how long the contract is, how much money they ended up willing to shell out for him and whatnot. I have to imagine it's going to be a pretty penny, considering that he was sought after by many, many other clubhouses and NFL teams and stuff. So it's one of those things where hearing the news, it's not necessarily a name that one of the worst names. He wasn't at the top of my personal list, but he wasn't really at the bottom either. Yeah. So a nice shiny new toy, a lot of hype around him as far as what he can do with offensive systems and what he'd helped build with Detroit, but still doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to translate to him being a good head coach and being able to command that locker room. So although I'm excited, I'm cautiously optimistic of this hire, hoping that he's everything that he's hyped up to be. But like I said, he still has a lot to work to do with this offensive line and getting his coaching staff in there. Who do you think he's going to bring along, if anybody, from Detroit?
I honestly don't know. I don't know who he's going to bring over from Detroit. Well, one person we know he's not going to bring is probably Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is probably going to have his choice of which teams that he wants to go to as well. When it comes down to it, what's really important here is that you have a division rival in the Detroit Lions who possibly could be losing both coordinators, which could be a very big blow to them. We know we saw on the St. Brown podcast how he was joking with Caleb, telling what he told Ben Johnson. So Ben Johnson wouldn't want to leave Detroit and to go to Chicago or anywhere else for that matter. It's just, like you said, being cautiously optimistic is something that resonates with me as well. As we've seen in Chicago, yet again, there's some good things and there's some bad things about some pros and some cons. Okay, once again, the Chicago Bears have went out and got another OC or a coach that didn't have any previous head coaching experience and given his first shot to being a head coach here in Chicago. So this marks God knows how many head coaches that we're going to have, from the Matt Eberflus to the Tressmans, Nagy's, Wansteads, Dickers, Jaron, Lovie Smith, going along with it. Right now, the odds wouldn't be in our favor that this is going to work because as we go on and seen in previous years with the Matt Nagy, with the Matt Eberflus, with the Dick Duran, with the Mark Trestman, I'm not putting Lovey in that because Lovey worked. I'm not putting Dick in that because Dick will work. Dave wants that these type of hires are not really working. So I know everybody is super high on it. I know a lot of people wanted Ben Johnson in because they want him
offensive-minded coach.
First, he's offensive-minded. Second of all, they want somebody that can help develop Caleb. And all that is true. But once again, I like to tell people, this is a team sport. This is bigger than one person. We don't need someone that's going to come in and become a quarterback developer, basically, in so many words, be a quarterback's coach. We need a guy that's going to come in, be a leader of men, someone that's going to be strict, someone that's going to hold these players' feet to the fire, hold them to be accountable. That is the type of coach that we need. And right now, we don't know if he has that in him. You know, he can call a hell of a game, but we don't know if he can be a leader of men and truly be a head coach. That's why I know a lot of people were wanting him to come in and not wanting him to come in, but a lot of people actually wanted a more experienced head coach. You had Mike Grable, you had Brian Flores, Gruden, Pete Carroll,
McCarthy
as well, yeah.
So, and Gruden was another one, but we got another member here that's ready to jump in with us here and get his word in on this new Bears coach here.
Right. So our own soldier and salute. Ace. Crazy. Ace.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going?
What's going on, Ace? How you feeling, brother?
Doing good. It's I can say that waking up and seeing some good news, I was just like, holy snap. I just couldn't believe it.
Were you surprised on how fast that this hire got done? I mean, considering that it's not even 24 hours that Detroit, being bounced out.
Oh, it's been like 48 now.
Okay.
I mean, technically, it's Tuesday for me now, So.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but honestly though, I was expecting them to do like one more second interview with like 2 or 3 other more people. You know what I mean? And then kind of like dwindle it down. But I think it goes to show you though, how serious some of the other teams were. And so I feel like if the Bears didn't do it now, they're probably going to lose out on him if he was like their top candidate. So,
yeah, definitely. I was actually shocked how fast they did it. I really was.
that's not the Bears.
With all the different coaching candidates that they had out there, still there was talks about other guys coming in, like with the whole Eddie George coming in. I don't know where that one came from. I guess it's the satisfy
Rooney rule.
The Rooney
rule. That's all that was.
Yeah. So, I'm shocked that they moved this fast. But
did they even get a face-to-face interview, or was it all just?
So Rooney rule. You have to do in person. So if Eddie George didn't come in when he did, they wouldn't have been able to hire Ben Johnson today, unless they completed the Rooney rule. And so I think it's like 2 or 3 minority in-person interviews. And so Ron Rivera filled that one criteria, and then Eddie George filled the second, I think. There was one more coach. I can't remember who it was, but either way, they fulfilled the Rooney rule requirement. So
yeah, it was probably now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they get a chance to? Bring in the interim head coach? Did he get a chance to interview already?
Yeah, and then Thomas Brown did too. So there you go. Yep, he got interviewed. Let me think. Early last week. It was like Monday or Tuesday, early last week. But it kind of got overshadowed with like all these other the long list of stuff or whatever. But I was following Bears on Twitter because they posted on who they brought in or whatever the case may be. Hey, we completed an interview with this person, etc. So,
okay. Well, we got not to cut you off, Ace. We got another member coming in. stat man to know all the stats from the 80s and 90s and the 2000s. Our boy JB.
What's up, guys?
And he still looks pissed off. What's up? He says nothing about it. Yeah. Okay. So remind the good folks of who you would have preferred again besides Ben Johnson.
So me being a little older, with the exception of maybe like T-Nick, Child to a degree, Amp, of course, I'm not overly excited because I've seen this story before. I've seen the hot shot coordinator, be it offensive or defensive. You know what I never see? I never see the Super Bowl winning coach come in here and get what he needs, or the coach that's proven that he can actually lead men and win games. We don't get that here. We keep getting the first time guy hoping to catch lightning in the bottle. Yeah. The flavor of the month. And when he doesn't do anything, then we as Bears fans want to say, oh, well, why don't we get Sean Payton? Well, hell, when Sean Payton was available, we didn't want him. To a lesser degree, I didn't want Mike McCarthy, but Mike McCarthy's probably a little bit better for this team than Ben Johnson, because here we go again. Yeah, he might be an offensive guru or whatever they call him, but now he's got to learn how to lead men. He's got to learn and work in conjunction with Ryan Poles with drafting. Are you going to be able to defeat the Lions and the Vikings and the Packers in your own division? It's a lot to be said about a guy for his first time. And me, being a Bears fan, suffering since 85, and I'm tired of these first-time dudes. All the Bears ever do, Lovie Smith, somewhat successful. Nagy, and Dick Duran, and Dave Wanstead, and Mark Trestman, and like I can go on and on and on. The common denominator is no coaching experience. None.
I can't put Lovie Smith in the somewhat successful. Lovie Smith
he was good, but I mean, he had some seasons too where they looked bad, some 6-10 seasons.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna get that almost out of every coach except for fucking maybe Mike Tomlin.
The frustrating thing with Lovie,
you really ain't gonna get that out.
But you know what? I'd like to get a Mike Tomlin once in a while. I'd like to get a Sean Payton. Somebody that every year they in the mix.
Those coaches don't come available often. Hell, if
but
ever.
I think
when they do,
we try to request the trade.
I want to say though,
let me take you back in the time machine. We are the same team that when Dan Marino became a free agent and said he had interest in coming to Chicago, we didn't want Dan Marino. Same organization. Like, I'm tired of seeing this. Tired of seeing the same story, bro. So yes, Ben Johnson's here. Hopefully he'll do something. I'm not overly excited about Dennis Allen, another dude that had a cup of coffee as a coach for 7 games before he got fired.
I mean, that's a rumor and nothing's put in stone yet.
That's going to be the DC possibly, Dennis Allen.
Yeah, some guy. I mean, like they say, some guys are just better off being coordinators than they are head coaches. You know.
But I want to. If I'm not mistaken, though, I think this is the first time where they've actually gone with like the hot top candidate across the league.
They just did it with Nagy.
To hire as a head coach. Nagy wasn't like the new hotness, though.
Yes, he was. Nagy, and matter of fact, and so was Lovie Smith, because Lovie Smith on that Rams team when they won the Super Bowl, they had like the number 1 offense and the number 5 defense. Like Lovie was hot.
Lovie, I could see it, but I don't remember if Nagy was necessarily. I didn't think Nagy had the same fire that Ben Johnson has right now. As far as coming out,
hell no.
I thought there was names. That's what I'm saying. I thought there was names above.
And then I would say, like, as far as Johnson and Nagy is concerned, like Johnson's like I think he's a step above Nagy just because he was calling plays straight for the last 2-3 years, you know, versus Nagy, who, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't call the offense the entire time he was down in KC.
No, he did call plays, and then when he started calling bonehead plays, Andy Reid took the play calling right back from him.
Yeah, he did that in the playoffs. What's also fascinating to me
when it matters
is that the front office and ownership have actually been listening to the fan base. So now it's to a point where it's like, okay, these are the people that you guys want. You know, you guys wanted Caleb Williams to be your quarterback. We got Caleb Williams as your quarterback. You guys wanted Ben Johnson to be your next head coach. Bam, we went out and gotten Ben Johnson as your next head coach. So now if it doesn't work, we listen to the fans. We gave you what you want. Like me and JB, we were saying we prefer a guy with some prior head coaching experience because we have the Nagy syndrome. We got the Jerron flu. We got the Eberflus headache. You know, it's just that we've been bitten so much by the first time head coach bug that we're nervous to sit up there to even hire another one. That's why we wanted someone with more experience, prior experience of being a head coach. But we actually got one more member coming in. Oh, well, we have to wait a second. He's having technical difficulties in the back, so we'll be waiting on that. So tell me, well, we know JB, we know that you're not too excited about this, and understandably, who would you like to see come in as his possible offensive coordinator?
For offensive coordinator for me, I mean,
you don't have to have a specific name, but
I do have a name. I definitely have a name.
Like a person with experience calling the offense and the defense, because we just went through that with Matt Nagy, where we had rookies doing this shit for the first time on both sides.
And we went through it with Eberflus, with rookies doing it for the first time.
I'm sorry, not with Nagy, with Eberflus. I'm sorry.
No, we did do it with Nagy. Remember Sean Desai? Sean Desai had never been
on defense, Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We keep doing the same thing. I'm putting it out there right now. I think he will try to pull, although Dan Campbell might try to elevate. What's my man's name? He played for the Steelers, Super Bowl. Antoine Randall L. He might try to pull him as the OC now because he did work in conjunction with Ben Johnson. But for me, I mean, Ben Johnson need to call Eric Bieniemy right now, like right now.
I don't know about
is the offensive coordinator going to get any play? Because is Ben Johnson not going to be calling the plays?
He will be calling the plays.
I'm assuming.
No, he will be calling the plays for sure. But I think with the head coaching that he has to do, he still has to focus other places. So why not get somebody that's got Super Bowl experience, Super Bowl championships, and has also coached the best quarterback in modern day history? Why not get him to help you and be your kind of like veteran backing? Because if he brings in a first-time OC, we know that OC ain't gonna call no plays.
Yeah, I think whoever he brings in as the OC is probably going to be the assistant head coach either way. With Dennis Allen just getting fired as the head coach from the Saints or whatever the case, I don't see him being the assistant head coach. His defenses, for the most part, had ranked in the top 10, top 12, whatever, before he became a head coach. Yeah, because when he became the head coach of the Saints, they were the bottom of the league, and so he got fired after 3 seasons. So, but that 21-22 season, both those seasons, they were top 10 defenses. I think 12 and 10, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, 2021 and 2021, 22, and then 2018.
But Ace, add this to that. What were their records?
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah.
Now, with Ben Johnson now being the head coach, do you think with this 10 pick that pick's going to be on the offense or defensive side of the ball?
It has to be offense. Regardless who the coach is, it has to be all the offensive side of the ball. Now, will it? I don't know. I feel like they didn't focus on offense enough the last, 2 years. And I get trying to build up the defense or whatever. But
are you talking about in the draft or you just talking about overall?
I think in the draft right now.
The draft.
You're talking about the 10th pick.
With the 10 pick, is that is it going to be used on the offense or defensive side of the ball?
Okay. Well, hold on. Before you guys go any further, we have another member that wants to come in and chime in and give us his opinion and his thoughts about our new head coach, Ben Johnson. The man, the legend, the tank.
The tank.
Frank, the tank.
What are you in the bathroom?
No, I'm in my little office area in my work.
I thought you was clearing space to start doing backflips.
I pretty much am. There ain't no lie about that right now. I'm excited as a motor.
Yeah, you are.
Most definitely.
If I'm not mistaken, he was number one on you guys on your list, right?
He was number one on my list. Absolutely.
All right.
Let me ask you this, Frank.
Hold on.
Because
Before we get
Frank's
Frank,
all hopped up on Mountain Dew. Hey, we got one more. We got one more.
We got one more person.
Oh boy, Full House for
show
real.
Yeah, he has a show on the network. Easy does it.
Oh, that guy? Jesus.
I haven't seen that down
when
in
he
years.
does it. Ladies and gentlemen, Easy. Easy.
That's me. What up? Hello. Welcome
2%. 2% milk.
Like Easy doesn't do it right now.
Yeah, easy works.
This is a very good point, actually. We should change that to Easy doesn't do it. I like that.
You change it to Staples. That was easy and get a good sponsorship that way.
Okay. So hold on, Easy.
Are they out of business?
Let's get to Frank. Frank, go ahead and give us your thoughts.
At first, I thought it was fake. I had to go search like crazy, but no, I'm excited as hell. Shocked that it got done this quickly. No question about that, but I think the heat was on them. I think they always wanted him. And the Raiders were digging at the door, and they didn't even give the Raiders even a shot, I feel like. I mean, I'm like, this is the thing. And I know JB. I know, love you, but I know you're that guy. No experience. You don't know if he's going to be a leader amongst men. And I agree. Nobody knows if he's going to be a leader amongst men. But the key thing is, out of all the stupid ass head coaches that we have hired, first time head coaches over the past years, I don't feel like any of them were proven to me that they deserve to be a head coach more than this guy does. That's my opinion of it. You can't, like, and everyone's gonna. I mean, Matt Nagy had Andy Reid. Mark Trestman was a Canadian football league. That's like freaking Pop Warner. I don't know what the hell that is. But
he won 2 Grey Cups.
That's great. It's a great cup for a reason. It can't be a gold cup because it's Canada. But I mean, the thing is with him is you like, and I know a lot of people. I think if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not calling you out, Mr. Chicago, but on our chat, you said if this did anything, it proved that he was not ready for the job. Was that Mr. Chicago who said that? Somebody,
I don't remember that. But
might not have, it might not have been him. But the key thing is when it comes on him, he put up 31 points when your quarterback threw up 3 interceptions and a fumble.
True.
I mean, was it 2 interceptions?
2 interceptions, a fumble. Jameson Williams threw the other one.
Okay, so maybe it was 3 turnovers. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It was 4 turnovers total, I think, or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
thought it was.
Last play of the game, like
3.
interception.
Okay.
It was a dirty game. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm excited about it. I mean, but the key thing is, and I agree with you, JB. Like, we got to see how the locker room's going to turn in, or how the locker room's going to come out when it comes down to this. But mostly every single person in that locker room wanted to see Caleb thrive, and you got the best possibility to see Caleb thrive.
Emilio, what's good?
So let me ask you this. It's a 2-parter, Frank. We want to see Caleb thrive. Caleb thrives, but what about the rest of the team? Because he's no longer just an OC. He's a head coach now.
I know. And I mean, I know
that box is different.
No, it does. It makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. And I do agree. We don't know how that's going to turn out, which is why I would like to see an experienced defensive coordinator come in here where he doesn't have to worry about that. Like a Ron Rivera or a Mike Singletary or something like that. I would love to see that happen.
It's going to be
Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen, bro.
Okay.
Is that
Just
confirmed
talking about
or
it before
like,
you come on? So
I mean,
it's still speculation.
I saw that in the chat, but I didn't know if that was like
confirmed,
for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
But
think of it
that's who
like
he's
this.
going to
Like,
try and go after.
watch this. And I'm gonna take you guys in a little field trip. Dennis Allen did what with the Saints? Anybody crazy? You had mentioned it before. Couple of top 10, couple of top 12, couple of top 15 defenses, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. After
like
the second season, after his second year, our second year with the team, they started rising. Whatever. It's when he became a head coach that like it went downhill. Now there could be a bunch of it, right? You can talk about, did the management do enough? Did he hire the right coordinators? You know what I mean? Like A lot of things go into
Doesn't
and
Doesn't
just
that
like JB
sound
was trying to
familiar?
say, yeah, just like JB was saying, you know, like, hey, like we don't have the right people, and his focus is taken away from what like his expertise is, then you know we could be going down the same lane or whatever. But I mean, me personally, I like to hire. I started, you know, at first it was like, okay, Ben Johnson or bust. Then I'm like, you know what, man, if we can't get him, started doing research, actually trying to look into like, hey, yeah, maybe I'd be on board. You got to take off your Bears hat for a little bit when you think about Mike McCarthy possibly coming to Chicago, right? You got to take out that bias.
No, that's not a bias. That fat fuck doesn't deserve another head coaching job.
I disagree with you there, but we're not talking about McCarthy. We're talking about Ben Johnson.
Agreed.
But but yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, we got who we got, and this is where, as a first-time head coach, he's got to bring in experienced play callers, and that's just to help set them up for success. Because I think the Bears have a good foundation. They have a solid defense. Offense, obviously, we know they got to work in the trenches, whatever, but they have a lot more pieces than in recent memory where a coach is taking over.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on it, Easy?
This past year and the year before, I've seen Ben Johnson called offense, put up 30 points on the Vikings, I believe 4 times, and 30 points on Green Bay, I believe 3 out of 4 times, or maybe it might have been 2 out of 4 times, but we saw what they did to Green Bay this year on Thursday Night Football, for example. I think we're getting a guy who knows how to compete within the division, which is important because we play in a pretty damn good division. I think, you know, I understand skepticism because a first-time head coach is always going to be
question mark.
You don't really know what you're going to get. But I think all the signs point to this guy could be very, very good based on what a lot of people way smarter than me say, but also based on, you know, his track record. You know, Detroit was irrelevant for so long. He takes over with Dan Campbell and, you know, they do a bunch of really good things. I think the one concern I have is like, you know, we don't love when our teams get too gimmicky, and, you know, like that has not worked well in Chicago in some years, is, you know, when the gimmicks are happening. So I totally understand where that concern comes from. However, I think that, you know, whereas Matt Nagy was getting gimmicky with someone who was athletically limited in like a Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles, I think Caleb Williams is a lot more, you know, like he's a lot more savvy than those guys were. And, you know, a lot more athletically skilled. And so I do think like to an extent, like some of that gimmicky stuff is going to be more successful. The biggest thing for me is all it takes is one. All it takes is hiring one head coach to get it right. And then, you know, the fortunes of your franchise are turned around forever. I think by bringing in Ben Johnson, like this is our hope that he's going to be exactly what Sean McVay became, Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings,
Matt
LaFleur, exactly. Like this is the way to do it now, and we have to get with the times, right? Like hiring defensive-minded guys. I'm not saying it's always going to be unsuccessful, but like we have to get people who are going to do what they can to get as many points on the scoreboard as possible, because that's the way the NFL is going nowadays. And I think that Ben Johnson, while I'm not guaranteeing he'll be successful, I think he absolutely maximizes our chances of being good. And that's not to say skepticism is unwarranted, but yeah.
So Easy, let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, JB. I'll talk after. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Because you said get with the times and stuff. Everybody thought Matt Nagy going 12-4 his first year that we had got the ship righted and we were on our way to the promised land from here, hence on forward. That didn't turn out too well, right? Because once his gimmicks got solved by professional head coaches that have been doing it for a while, he no longer was relevant. 2 8-8s and then whatever that last season was. That's my fear for Ben Johnson, because there's no film on you other than what Washington just did last night. And I understand you put up 30 points, but that was a game that everybody said Ben Johnson should roll over. They didn't even say the Lions. They said Ben Johnson should just roll over the Washington Commanders.
I don't get where you're going with that.
Point, JB, because like I think
easy goes where I'm going.
I do.
Hold on. Before you answer easy, JB, are you done with your statement?
Yeah, I asked the question. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. I thought you finished.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too. So
yeah. To answer your question, it's a good question, and it's definitely something I thought about because I remember after 2018 we were all very depressed with the way the playoffs ended, but we were hopeful going into the next season because we were like, okay, at least we know we have a quarterback who could get better. We have really young team in place, going to be fine, right? What I remember happening after that is I don't think it was that people got wise to Nagy. I think it was Nagy kind of got wise to himself. Like he started just getting cute for its own sake instead of like actually.
He never adapted.
With plays
never
that
changed.
worked. It felt like he was getting
even
too
worse, right?
for his own good. And I don't think Ben Johnson is going to do that. Look, I think.
But he did it. He did it Saturday night. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He's showing propensity to do that in adverse situations.
I think that's something he could definitely learn from. And I also think that like you got to tell, like, if he runs a play like that again, if it's not there, you tell your receiver, throw the ball away, throw it out of bounds. It was literally just the Keenan Allen play. But I don't know. I think that, like, to answer your question, I think the other thing with Nagy is, like I said, Mitch Trubisky was very limited, and to Nagy's credit, he kind of squeezed every ounce of talent he could out of Trubisky in that 2018 season. Also, if you remember, and I don't know how y'all feel about Tariq Cohen on this channel because I wasn't here, but he was the guy in that offense. He is what made that offense work. You send him out in motion, people couldn't guard him because he was pretty much like our version of Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, I think he got hurt and he just lost the step. And once he lost the step, everything in that offense went completely downhill.
Yep.
So what we're going to need is a guy to be that Tariq Cohen. And obviously, he's kind of a unicorn type player because people that are that low to the ground naturally are very hard to they're hard to find. But I do think, like a guy like a DJ Moore who's really good when he gets the ball in his hands, and a guy like Rome, I really think that, like, in a Ben Johnson type offense, when we could get these guys moving around, all these moving parts, I think it's going to be a lot more successful. I just think he's more equipped for success because, Tariq Cohen, unfortunately, while he was really good, he was too small. He was just like he was too small to hold up, to hold up injury wise, I guess. He was gonna get hurt. I don't think that's as likely with the guys that we have now. And that's why I'm a little bit more confident here than I should have been with the Bears back with Tariq Cohen and just that whole offense.
Yeah. Hold on, let me change screens. You can't even see this. My bad. Keep talking, Easy. I'm gonna change screens.
Yeah, I guess like the last thing I'm gonna say, like on that is I get the concern because we did go through something very similar with Nagy. The difference is, one, I don't think Nagy was as qualified, and two, I do think we just have more talent on offense and more sustainable talent on offense to build upon compared to what Matt Nagy had back in 2019, 2020, etc.
Okay. Ace, I know you wanted to add something onto it. I know you wanted to say something. I was trying to bring up some stats real quick for this thing, but I'm trying to lower the brightness on my screen.
If you want,
real quick.
can I say something while you're doing that? While you're looking at that?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, and JB, I understand where you're coming with this, but when you were saying as far as Ben Johnson should have rolled over and just lit it to Washington. And I'm looking at the stats right now. Jared Goff did have 3 interceptions. At least he's listed as 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions and a fumble. All right.
He had 2 interceptions and a fumble.
I'm looking at the stats right now. It says
Jameson Williams threw the other interception.
There were 4 interceptions in the game.
Right. Yeah. Wait.
Jared, it says right now.
Jared, you know what? He threw one to number 11.
Yes.
The very last play. Yes, he did. Yep.
Okay. And this is the thing. And I understand, but there is no way that we can put this game on Ben Johnson at all. When you're putting up still 31 points, when your quarterback threw 3 interceptions and a fumble, damn. To still put up 31 points and to have that horrible of a quarterback stat. I mean, if there was one thing I can jump on him on is Gibbs was extremely successful in the first half of that game, and he did not, and he kind of slowed down in that. I was not happy about that. And
that's on Johnson.
Yes, and that is on Johnson.
Those
I will give you that.
Don't happen.
And
those interceptions don't happen if you run the damn ball.
Yeah, and
the man
please,
10 yards of carry.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but did David Montgomery get hurt?
No, he was. The thing was, David Montgomery was still recovering from that.
Okay, so they were just worried. Okay, because I was wondering why I'm only seeing 4 attempts for him. That really ticked me off as well. But if he's hurt, I understand.
They weren't going to run him as much with that injury.
I also think really what really damned the Lions, I thought, was the interception at the end of the half.
Oh yeah,
that was a hell of a play, though.
It was
a great defensive play. I can't put that on Johnson. I put that on Goff, but I mostly credit the defense for, just.
I'd say that.
I put it on Goff because defense make plays too.
Yeah, absolutely. So but I think that's what really damned the Lions. If I'm being honest.
But see, let me say why I said about staying true to who you are as opposed to evolving or just knowing situational football. Although they lost, the Ravens game could have went way different. But you know what Monken finally decided to do with them last 3 drives? He kept running the ball.
Yeah.
And kept running. And that man-child, they couldn't tackle him. And then Justice Hill came out, couldn't tackle him. You know what I saw Ben Johnson do? He went away from the run, went away from Jahmyr Gibbs, who had gotten you to lead, and then he started taking shots. No more Laporta in the flat, who was wide open. Just shot after shot after shot after shot. And it's like, why?
I mean, this is the thing, and I do agree with you, but would you rather him throw screens and little Pop Warner type crap like our coach is doing now? But I'd rather him try to
I get what you're saying, but you have to remember this has been an indictment on Goff his whole career. This is why he lost the Super Bowl with the Rams in 2018. They basically they wanted him to throw deep. They wanted him to throw downfield. They say, yeah, you could have your checkdowns. You're not going to take them. And, because Goff, what happens is he gets in his head and he's like, I got to throw a 14-point touchdown right now. And that's why he threw the pick.
And a coach should fix that. Hey, instead of me giving you the ball to put us in that situation because you're a head case, I'm going to run the ball.
Well, hold on. Let me
if you're down by 3 scores, it's
okay.
harder.
Yeah. At some point, that's going to go out the door. Now, I do agree with you. The way that Jahmyr Gibbs was running the ball, they probably should have kept running early on. But once you get down, you don't have time to run the ball like that. Now, unless he's taking it to the house down there every 5th carry or something like that. Somebody referred to Tom Monken. All right. Watching the game yesterday, Todd Monken was fine when he was in 12 personnel. He should have stayed in 12 personnel because 12 personnel gave Buffalo fits because you have 2 good receiving tight ends. You got okay wide receivers, and then you got the beast back there with 2 beasts back there and Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
They didn't know who to defend.
In that 12 personnel, it messed Buffalo up. Buffalo didn't know what they were going to do. They didn't know if they were going to run or if they were going to pass. The minute they went into shotgun, that's when things went bad. They went in the shotgun. Sometimes Henry wasn't out there, which allowed them to surprise Buffalo a couple of times with handing the ball off to Justice Hill because they automatically assumed when Justice Hill was in there that Baltimore was passing. So, yes, I do agree with you, JB. I can't put all of it on Ben Johnson. I do agree with you sometimes that we have to sit up there and realize as a coach or as a play caller that when something is working, constantly keep going into it until they stop it.
Agreed.
You gotta do that.
Y'all may not like this, but and I know Sherry ain't like it. Michigan did it against Penn State. They ran the whole damn second half because Penn State couldn't stop them. They did not throw the ball out one damn time.
I mean, look what the Eagles have done all postseason. They just have been running the hell out of the ball.
When you got Saquon,
it helps them.
Barkley, you better fucking run the ball.
I mean, you got Derrick Henry. You better run the damn ball.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a very good point too.
And that's why
and now you got I know this has nothing to do, but I just got to get this out there. Me and Foul, definitely, I'm sure other people on the panel, Lamar fans.
I love Lamar.
Mark Andrews owe that man an apology. because Mark Andrews
All right,
single-handedly lost that
all right,
game.
I'm sorry, JB. I have to disagree. He owes way more than an apology.
Yeah.
That is way more than an apology.
Yeah,
That
check
was,
that man's bank accounts.
I mean,
He
yeah.
fumbled, he dropped the ball, he dropped
Two big drops and then a fumble.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah. Talking about a bad year that guy had, man.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that we can sit up there and say when we talk about the Eagles, and when we're stating about coaches just sticking to what's working, you have to also realize that both the Eagles and the Ravens both have good offensive linemen. If I'm not mistaken, I think both of them had at least two. I know the Eagles definitely have three guys
that
made the Pro Bowl. Yeah.
Two.
Yeah.
And
So
also,
the Ravens
I will
have two,
say-
the Eagles have three that made the Pro Bowl. So that also tributes, you know what I'm saying, to those running backs being able to be in beast they are, and the offensive coordinator also has to stick to that. I'm not going to jump on Ben
Works both
Johnson
ways too, Fel.
about him and the play calling. You know, sometimes it's just attention to detail, and also, as my head coach used to say back in the day, know your personnel. I wouldn't have gave that ball to Jameson Wilson to throw that motherfucking ball. No way in hell. It would have been Amon St. Brown, because at least I know he would have had the smarts, and also he has the years of experience to know to either run with the ball or throw it away, not force it in there, and then you end up getting an interception, which costs your team as well.
Can somebody please tell Ben Johnson we do not have Detroit's line, so that cute shit might not work. It might not get off.
I mean, they're going to do some cute shit, but I don't think they're going to go to the point. They're not going to do to the point to like Detroit. Like Detroit was doing stuff like in the beginning of the game. Like you can try cute shit towards the end of the game when you're up like 3 scores. You know what I mean?
Right.
And also, Ace, to further your point, it also comes with continuity with that team being
with the people
for some years.
Good word. And that's going to take time, because I'm telling you right now, some of our fans are going to come out and say, oh, we got Ben Johnson, playoffs. And I'm going to say the same thing like I said this year. Pump your brakes, slow your roll. He may have a 6-7 win season again. He may not take us to the playoff right away. And people got to be okay with that. And then when that happens, hey, what happens to Ryan Poles? Is his job being, up for grabs, and he on the hot seat now? What happens to Caleb now going into year 3? Is his dad tapping him on the shoulder like, yeah, we got to get out of here. You ain't signing no extension. Like, all those variables put in this guy's lap. It's like, yeah, you can only use the reset button so many times before you just have to clean total house.
Well,
I wanted to ask you guys
real quick before let's get through the stats real quick, since we're talking about Ben Johnson right now, and it's good segue, right? Talking about Caleb, you're talking about Ben Johnson real quick. So technically right now, for the last 3 years, the Lions offense under Ben Johnson, you can say right now, if you're looking points per game, total yards per play, I mean, first, second, third, whatever the case might be, in every offensive category you can think of, right? So this is what we're getting with Ben Johnson. Compared to the Bears right now with just Caleb, right? This is just a 2024 season. And I mean, look, we're like at the bottom. The only good thing was the touchdown to interception ratio was with Caleb this year. And that's the most that any Bears rookie has ever done. Lowest touchdown to interception ratio, I should say, that any rookie has done, or any quarterback has done with the Bears. So, but we're in the bottom third on almost every category.
Hey, go back up, Crazy, because I want to point out again. You said this is what we're getting with Ben Johnson. That's not an apples to apples comparison, because Ben Johnson doesn't have the weapons or the line or the personnel to put up those numbers in Chicago. So those numbers are not going to be similar to. They're probably going to be more similar to what you saw in that last graphic. With the
I'm
Bears.
not saying that this is what we're okay. So let me rephrase it. I'm gonna say, look, Ben Johnson currently at the Lions, this is where he ranks. All right. You would hope that as he comes and takes over, even if it's not play calling due to the head coach, that at least these numbers down here on the bottom third, they at least come up, right? Because at least they come up.
They will come up. They should come up. But
right, and so, but that's what we want.
From 31st to 1st, that's not going to happen.
I mean,
we don't have the
Well,
personnel.
look, it really does
We just
depend
don't.
on how much control Ben Johnson's going to have over like personnel decisions, and also just like what we do this offseason. What are we doing in the draft? What are we doing in terms of filling up our roster with free agents? Like what's the offense going to look like? That's really like that's what we need to be speculating on. That's what we need to be looking at, because if he's able to fill them up with players similar to what the Lions have had, we could be good next year. But the problem is, who's available, right?
And I saw a mock draft by NFL experts that had us getting Ashton Genty, and I'm like, why? Why would you go get a running back when we have nobody to block for anybody? Like that is the dumbest. See, that's what that what pisses me off. Al, we talked about that. Why are we gonna go and get a Bijan Robinson type running back with no line?
Well, that's the thing. That's just bullshit. People just putting shit out there.
People doing shit just to do shit. Yeah, like people had us.
These are NFL experts.
Dude, I seen 2 mock drafts where we went back and we grabbed 2 like defensive people, and I'm like, we grabbed a safety and like DT or whatever, and I'm just like, come on, man, like just stop.
Look,
One thing that I want
we're
us
going to need to do something at running back, but it's not going to be Genty.
It's damn sure not going to be in the first or second round. One thing that we have.
No, if you're going to get a running back, it's going to be like in the 4th or the 5th, in my opinion.
One thing that we have to realize.
Cam,
Hold on.
Not maybe like.
Hold on. One thing that we have to do. One thing that we do have to realize is that, and I know we all keep talking about it. All we're doing is jumping up and talking about this offense. That was one thing that I was nervous about when it came down to the Chicago Bears, talking about they need an offensive-minded coach, because all we're hearing about is offense. At the end of the day, we still know that football is the ultimate team sport. You're going to need your defense. You're going to need your special teams. So for us to go out there and totally like ignore anything defensively would just be dumb, because we still have holes on defense, mainly on the offensive line, not too much on the linebackers or the secondary, but mainly on the defensive line. We have holes there. We have holes on the offensive line. We okay at running back. We okay at quarterback. And we okay at tight end and wide receiver. But those trenches guys, that's what we have to focus on, and that's on both ends.
Yes.
I don't want everybody to go, shit, man, we can possibly do this on offense. Yeah, that shit's cute. But what about the other side? What about the other 2 position groups? The defense and the special teams. Mm-hmm. We still got to be okay with that. Absolutely. Otherwise, we'll be putting up hell of a numbers. Everybody be happy, man. We ain't never seen the Bears put up numbers like this, but then we'd be having bad defense and the bad special teams, which means we ain't going no fucking.
It'll be it'll turn into what was it? The year that Gase came with Cutler. And then that was a good year, and then Gase left, and then it just went back down again.
You said that. That's what I always said about.
Gase got a job and ended up sucking at it.
Yeah, that's what I always said about Ben Johnson in those type situations as well. Is because I know everybody wanted that veteran type coach, the one who's been there. If he's defensive minded, he's defensive minded. Like a Flores, it doesn't really matter. But then you go out and have one good year offensively because you got the right OC, and he's gone. He's gone. If you now have Ben Johnson and you have the right OC, he is the OC/head coach. And that's when you're looking at somebody like a Matt LaFleur or a McVay and all those type people, where Andy Reid, I'm not comparing him to Andy Reid, but I'm just saying that type of person. So
I mean, do
y'all think that Ronnie Staley is good? Like, do you think the Ravens might let him walk?
They're not going to. No, I don't think they're going to let him go.
No way.
To lose it like that, there's no way that's a fireable offense. When Andrews just drops the freaking ball.
No, I said Ronnie Staley, the offensive tackle.
That's the left tackle.
Coach.
Yeah.
But I still don't think so.
He's supposed to be a free agent. I'm just saying he would solve a lot of problems.
They're going to pay him. But the problem that I have now is...
Can they pay him, though, JB? Because, I mean, you got locked up quarterback. You got locked up linebacker.
You're gonna move around contracts to lock
you're going to have
to.
You're going to find the money.
You're ass cover. All right.
You're going to find the money for Ronnie Stanley. The issue that I have now is, what are we going to do with Tevin Jenkins? Because if we don't re-sign Tevin Jenkins, that means we need to find a left tackle, a guard, and a center.
You need a whole unit.
That's my concern. More holes keep popping up.
But if we do resign Tevin, it's gonna have to be to a team friendly deal though, because he just can't stay healthy. He can't sit there and request. You know what I mean? Like left tackle, like starting big left tackle money. If you ask me.
Well, he's not going to play left tackle. He's going to play left or right guard, which I mean
left guard. My bad. Yeah, my bad.
I mean, I really wouldn't put him. If I'm going to sign him, I'm going to sign him to right guard money. I wouldn't put him at the left guard. I think he played way better at right guard than he did at left guard any point in his career. So
he didn't get hurt at right guard.
Honestly,
he really didn't get hurt.
I'm hoping we could get for center.
We had a little knicknacks here and there, but
there is someone in the draft that I've had my eye on for center. And that's Jonah Monheim from USC.
Mm-hmm.
I think
for familiarity.
Yeah, you're gonna want that guy with Caleb. Yeah,
well, for familiarity, but
the
also
only person who said that.
Also, I mean, he is really good. He's expected to go in the third or fourth round, which is pretty good for a center. And I think that familiarity is important, especially if we're able to get some veteran presence around him on the offensive line. I think that could be a really good cost-friendly move.
Yeah.
Well, I ask you guys this too. Remember, there's been big speculation about Ryan Poles. Now they just went out and signed Ben Johnson, just like that.
It's a great question.
Well, now are we talking about with the GM and coach relationship now? Does that mean that Ryan Poles may be getting an extension?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that is a great question. I do believe that too. I mean, I did not expect the signing to go this quickly because I didn't know how Ben Johnson would feel about.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I'm glad that you alluded to that because that was going to be my next question. Were the rumors true about Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles? Like Ben Johnson wanted a GM that has more stability, or he wanted to bring in his own boy, where just in case. And then we still don't know because. Well, actually, we do know because Ian Cunningham did not get that position. So Ian Cunningham will be the assistant GM this year. Right. So now, is that relationship good with Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson? I take it that it is since he gone and fucking signed him.
That quickly, yeah. I mean, you would think.
Yeah, but the rumors, though, I'm glad you brought up the rumor stuff because
it's a relationship thing. I was saying I don't think that's just a relationship thing as more as I'm trying to save my own ass thing. That's what I really think it is.
I mean, it could be, but at the same time, you as Ben Johnson being the type of person that everybody sit up there and say you are, where you can basically choose a team that you want to go to and they're going to automatically sign you. Would that come into effect? I'm pretty sure at some point in time, they had a conversation about Poles' contract, what's going to go
on. How long he's going to stay here. Yep.
How long he's going to stay. Can we work together? This is what I need. This is what I want.
Do you want, if I'm Ben Johnson, I don't want to be aligned with Poles lock and step contract to contract to contract until I see, is he going to get me, is he going to let me shop for the groceries? Is he going to get me the people that I need?
I do agree
because
with
now
that.
If you just go off and you extend Poles, now you are married to him and it's like, well, one failed, the other failed. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Get rid of the GM. Now we're bringing in the coach and all that stuff that we always do that just never works. I would let Ryan Poles play out his contract next year and say, hey, Poles, you got a 1-year prove-it deal. Otherwise, we will bring in another GM if there's another failed season.
Good point. It's a good
because
point.
Then you can marry Ben Johnson's 4 or 5 year contract with the remaining time with the GM coming in. Hey, you got 4 years to get it right. Coaches under contract for 4 years.
But as devil's at, look, so I'm going to counter that though. Because do you really think a new head coach is going to come in and now you're like, okay, so now I got to sit here, worry about this one general manager being here for 1 year. And then now I had to be married with somebody else who's probably going to have a different vision going forward than what I want to begin with.
If you're Ben Johnson,
you know
yes,
mean?
Because clearly you're going to get what you want.
That dude, he had a golden ticket. He literally could go to any of these other 6 teams that he sat there and could have wanted to. So he went and he decided to go to the Bears.
And that's why I think he's got a little more say so than we're giving credit for until we hear it from Hallis Hall. He probably has a little bit more.
I wanted that say so because I don't like it when the rest of the Bears front. I don't like when the Bears front office has a lot of say so. I don't like.
Oh no, 100%.
I don't either.
But I think I know that I don't want to say I know. There's probably a good chance, and there was rumors that Ryan Poles' contract. That was a discussion too for the coaches coming in and how they're going to be paired. But I think I don't think it was as much as concern as everyone was making it out to be. Because if it was, then there's a good chance Ben Johnson wouldn't have. After the interview today, he probably would have walked out of Hallis Hall, went over to the freaking Raiders, and go interview with them trying to bring in whoever that dude is for their GM position.
Yeah, I think
true, but at the same time, go ahead, Fal.
No, go ahead. Who you point? Go ahead.
I was gonna say true, but at the same time, don't you think that Ben Johnson has to worry about not only Ryan Poles getting me the people I need, but now you're under pressure because before you get into all that, I got to make sure me and Caleb on the same page. That's the priority number one. I got to get this kid out of this scattered brain hypeness and get him to winning football. That can't happen if Poles don't play the game that Ben Johnson wants to play. If he says, I need a left tackle, and here you come with a safety, dude, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, when you look at the hierarchy of it all, at the end of the day, Brian Poles is still Ben Johnson's
boss.
It's his coach. It's his pick.
He's his boss. So, yes, there had to be something discussed in whatever interview that they had, whatever phone conversation that they had, where it's like, okay, in order for me, because I'm just thinking about me as being a head coach. If I'm the head coach and I can choose to go to any organization that I want, as far as ones that's available, I'm going to sit up there and say, all right, I got to be lock in step with this GM right here. I can't be locked. I can't go array. You know what I'm saying? Because me and him have to sit up there and be on the same page. It's just that simple. I'm going to be here for however many years. If it's 4 years, then I'm going to possibly need him here for 4 years. Because what I don't want to end up happening is that this guy ends up losing his job or he's not here. And then you guys, Kevin Warren, because we already know Kevin Warren he's not giving no power to nobody. He's not relinquishing his power to nobody except for the owner. I don't need Kevin Warren to come
and he ain't going nowhere.
He wants. And then me and this guy ain't seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
So it has to be something. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear something where that Poles probably got an extension or something, or they're going to keep it on the hush hush. It's going to be very low key in term. You may hear it every blue moon, like, yeah, Poles got extended. He got extended contract, sort of like what we heard with Billy Donovan.
What I find interesting.
Oh God, don't say that guy's name.
Like,
what I find interesting, and I'm kind of curious, is what's different from this year to last year, because Poles could have done this realistically last year, fired Eberflus and hired Ben Johnson last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was up for management, though. I think it was up for management.
Maybe you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Poles tried to get rid of Flus earlier in the season, and they told him no.
I mean, rumor has it he tried to get rid of him last year, but let's be honest. We know the McCaskies. When the fuck have the McCaskies ever sit up there and they don't give a fuck if it's good for the franchise or not? They're not going to fire people or get rid of people if there's money still due.
Agreed.
Damn, so not if they got 2 or 3 years left. That's unheard of from a McCaskey. So
firing Flus happened too late in the season, though, too. Like, if it would have happened,
it happened too late.
You might have been able to save, but whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even think with that being said, you said, Fal, you said the rumor was. How do we know that Poles really wanted to fire him, knowing that the McCaskies were like, no, you picked them, we're paying them, deal with it. So a rumor could just be something to save his own face. At least for
like because the rumor is.
I can say it's a little bit more than a rumor, but anyways.
Yeah, and also the rumor is
Caleb overall was
saving pick him. I mean, like he had to choose between 3 people. He just had to choose that guy because those were the 3 guys that the McCaskies wanted. He had to choose.
Yeah, one of them's in the NFC Championship.
Hey, though,
You're not wrong that he picked the
You know
wrong
who we
one.
can say
But
for
the
sure,
problem
though?
was he picked the only one he knows.
Go ahead, Kamish.
What'd you say, Chris?
Yeah.
Trace Armstrong.
For sure, though, the person who's loving this Ben Johnson hire, though, is this guy right here. After the prank call and seeing his reaction when he thought it was actually Ben Johnson being on the coach and text messaging, being hyped up and happy and shit like that. So now seeing that it actually did happen, we know that Caleb is very, that was his number one choice, along with hearing what he had to say in the podcast thing with Amaz St. Brown.
Hey, Crook, put up Tony.
Yeah, but he better get his shit together too.
What was that?
Put up Tony Drew Martin's comment.
Oh, okay.
Can we just say after watching Daniels through the year, we lost drafting Caleb? No, we cannot say
I don't
that.
think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think so.
Don't get
As
your,
of this year, yes.
Right. Huh? He said what?
After you, all you can do is compare their first years, and the answer is
that's
yes.
it. That's all you can do is
But
compare.
yeah,
their
but if
first
you
year.
compare, if you compare
I'm
their
not-
years,
I'm
yes,
not
but
simply
regardless of
saying
who you brought
that
here,
was
it was
guy.
going to be the same result. Regardless of who you
Negative, sir.
drafted, same result.
Negative.
But
Negative.
the thing is, no,
Negative.
and I'm saying this right now. If you flip flopped it and Caleb was on Washington and we had Jaden, Caleb would have a better year. I'm saying
I
it right
agree.
now, 100%.
I don't think so, because again, like I told y'all before, Caleb never ran a pro style offense. Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels been running pro style offense their whole careers, so it was an easier transition.
Yeah.
Waldron,
I will agree with you on that.
Yeah.
With Jaden Daniels, we probably would be in the playoff, but then we're like, damn it, we made the playoff. We still got to keep Eberflus.
Not with,
So
not
we
with-
would have won, but we would have still lost.
I actually said that straight from the get-go too when it was on draft day. Other than the tramp stamper, over here. When we were talking about that, I said Jaden was going to have a better rookie year than Caleb. I said that because Jaden ran a pro style offense. Jaden is more NFL ready right away, but I think Caleb has a higher ceiling.
Can I say something to that?
I
I think it's important that we just remember that progress isn't linear, and some people
100%.
can come in and be really, really good right away. Some
And then they
people take
struggle the next
longer.
year.
Not just quarterbacks. It's the truth with tight ends. Like I didn't expect Brock Bowers to be Rob Gronkowski year one.
I did.
And look at that.
I
Well,
did.
good job, Frank. Shout out to you for that.
That's why I drafted him early in my fantasy football league.
Yeah, but some people, easy. Come on now. Some people you can see just got it. They just got it. Randy Moss coming in, he just got, he just had it. You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying? Barry Sanders coming in, he just had it. Bo Jackson, he just had it. Certain players,
I don't think
just got it.
I don't think it's as easy as that though. When it comes to Randy Moss is obviously like one of those exceptions. Like a Reggie White, he just looks different from everyone else on the field who's ever played that position. Yeah, I think when it comes to quarterbacks, the things that the most important things that they could have are things that you can't predict, and that is consistency and composure. You cannot predict how consistent someone.
There's no metric on how to measure that. Correct.
What'd you say?
That's what there's no metric. Like there's no analytics.
There's no way to measure that for any college quarterback, and that's why you have NFL quarterbacks who are successful who are picked in round 3, round 4, whatever. Like I have a list of them. Like not just like Tom Brady, obviously, or Joe Montana, who's a 3rd round pick, but like Matt Hasselbeck or like Jeff Garcia, who went undrafted, like had success in the NFL. Despite not wowing anyone at combines or anything like that, they still, had success in the NFL because they were consistent enough and they were able to compose themselves under pressure. That's something that cannot be predicted by just by watching people in college. And I think that's important to remember. And I still think, Caleb has a great shot at being a great quarterback. So,
yeah, I mean,
and I don't think he will. I don't think he will have a bad, he won't become what they call a bust. Like he won't be a Ryan Leaf, right? He won't be a Jamarcus Russell, right? But I don't think he's not going to be Jaden Daniels next year either. He got to learn a whole new system again. He has to deal with his own demons because it did come out in publications. He's not a hard worker. It did come out that he does struggle reading defense.
They didn't say he wasn't a hard worker. What they said was
yes, they did. It's on Captain J Hood. Yes, they did.
They would like for him to have. Not to say that he wasn't a hard worker.
But what did they say?
He said they are not. He said he's not as hard of a worker as they thought or were led to believe. That is a quote and a transcribed quote.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that you're not a hard worker. It just means like you may not be the.
They expected you to be harder.
Hours of
his work ethic wasn't as good as what it could have been.
His work ethic ain't as great as they thought it was.
And y'all don't think that's a problem?
I'm not saying that's not a
Nobody
problem.
think that's a problem.
I'm not saying that it's not a problem. I'm not going to say
that should have been addressed as problem number one. Tell him to sit your like I was talking to my boy earlier. You cannot sit up there and look at the camera and watch that kid's body language with Shane Waldron. Again, we may not like Waldron, but at the time that was your coach. You can't do this. Oh, here come this mug. What do you want, man? Get away from me. Dude, you just messed up.
I never
it's on camera, foul.
I saw him. Well, I did.
I think it was like game 4 or something like that.
Waldron came over. He was like, oh. He did it on national TV and they talked about it.
But wasn't that the same time though that Waldron was laughing when they were like down or some shit like that? Wasn't that the same moment?
Yeah, it wasn't the same damn game. You laugh too? Fucking head kicked in. What the fuck?
Hey, when you laugh too?
Why?
Because here we go again. Like Lorenzo said earlier, I don't know how far up to scroll, but like Lorenzo said, first thing Ben Johnson got to do, get Buddy's head right.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's got to come in and do some stuff.
What does that have to do with him laughing on the sidelines when Caleb's getting his ass whooped?
No. That was Waldron like, man, oh man, oh man. Look at this shit here.
I mean, it was more like, hey, I'm going to kill you.
You going to say, man, oh man, look at this shit here, but you the fucking play caller.
Yeah.
You the one that everybody sat up there and talked about. Hold on, because let's be transparent. Because people sat up there and said that Waldron wasn't working hard either. He wasn't really about shit either.
That's the first time I've heard that. He
wasn't doing this fucking homework either. So, I mean.
That's the very first time I ever heard that.
People, huh?
I said that's the very first time I've ever heard that statement about Waldron.
People were sitting up there. People were talking about that Waldron wasn't doing the best either. He wasn't really helping the kid. Hence why he wasn't really going hard on the kid. Hence why they sit up there and had a goddamn meeting. What, after the third or fourth game? They sit up there and talk about, hey, let's run some things that we like. Not everything that you want to do. Things that we see that's being productive.
Also, like,
did they not have a team meeting, offensive team meeting about this shit?
I've learned that anything we hear on Cap and J Hood should be taken as like, you know, like don't take seriously the random musings of Dave Kaplan. And I like Dave Kaplan personally.
That wasn't just Dave Kaplan. That was everybody talking about that, about the meeting.
That was right. That didn't. He reported it. Like, see, Kaplan.
Oh, no,
the one thing about Kaplan, I'm not a Kaplan fan.
I'm talking about the ramblings of Caleb not being a hard worker because.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
that sounds more like Dave Kaplan. And look, again, I like Dave Kaplan. I met him. I like him personally. I met him. He's a nice guy. But like,
guy.
A little bit of a, you know, he definitely likes to stir the pot.
He's a little eccentric.
hey,
he's no Lynch.
I'm gonna go and help JB out real quick from when he said something earlier. So this is from Kevin Fishbane right now. He's like, I'm sure this means nothing, but the only two times the Bears have finished top 10 in scorers since 2007 were 2013 Mark Trestman's first year, 2018 Matt Nagy's first year. Just don't ask me what happened afterward.
That's funny.
True.
That
yeah.
really funny.
Hey, we did that one with Mitch Trubisky.
I hope history does not repeat itself, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
What you say again? I got distracted.
You guys finish up. I got to head out though. I got to finish up work. It's nice talking to you guys on a non-Tuesday.
All right, Frank. See you tomorrow.
All right, later.
Yeah. What did you say, Crazy?
Oh, Kevin Fishbane was on Twitter talking about the two times the Bears finished the top 10 were Trentman and Nagy's first year, and then don't ask about what happened after that though.
Yeah, that is really funny. That is really funny.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, overall, I think we have to see how the rest of these coordinates play out throughout the next few weeks. I do like the hire though. I do feel like they went after They went after somebody like competitive. They went after somebody who, in reality, this is not. I know JB probably disagrees, but this isn't your typical like Bears hire to me compared to what we've done in the past. I mean, to be real, top name person. I don't even know what it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because money's gonna play into it too. And if they were being cheap, I don't think he would have came either.
Yeah. We probably got another. I don't mean to cut you off, Ace. We probably got another 10 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and go. So get whatever last words that you got to say. Everybody get their last little comments in and whatnot. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's just me. At the end of the day, the week plays out with who he decides to bring in.
Yeah, I mean, it is a surprising hiring, like you said, Ace. This is the what I'm basically getting is, and what I've been hearing is that the first time probably in a long time in Bears history, and as far as with the owners of the Chicago Bears, they are allowing guys that are football guys to sit up there and make decisions. They're actually taking a sort of like a step back, because this is what they sit up there and said. McCaskey, for the first time, I've never heard of McCaskey sit up there and say this: "Hey, we're gonna spend the money, no matter what it is." Now I heard Jerry Reisendorf say that bullshit, and they still don't spend it. But I never heard really a McCaskey say those types of words, that we're going to spend the money, and then have the president follow that up, also followed up by the GM. So, I mean, them going out, getting the hottest name that's available as far as coaching, pretty good. It's a good start. But as JB alluded to, and as we all hope, we hope that him and Ben Johnson are locked in step, and that they get this damn draft together and address it. And also, we also are hoping, I know we all are hoping on this, we know that he's the offensive guru and all that type of bullshit. That's fine. But at the end of the day, football is a team sport, and it's not just one-sided. We need the offense, and we need the offense, the defense, and the special teams. Be a leader of men.
Everyone give your predictions on tonight's game as well on the way out.
Let's go Ohio State. That's my team.
I don't give a fuck. Both.
I don't. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch at it because it's Monday.
I don't even think I'm gonna watch that shit. More power to them. If Ohio State wins, guess what? You still didn't beat Michigan, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan for work. I wasn't a fan until 2 weeks ago. So
I don't care. I'll be watching some of that, and I'll be watching wrestling. So.
Oh yeah. Hey, Royal Rumble.
No, take that back. I take that back. I think his name is McLaughlin. He's the center for Ohio State. I think he's a top 5 rated center. I might watch to see if he's any good, to see if that's somebody the Bears should.
Yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta do some scouting, man.
Well, you definitely got to do some scouting. But what I want to ask you guys before we get off real quick, is it key for the Bears to go in and in this draft get a bunch of offensive linemen without any veterans on that line? Or we definitely got to sign a veteran in the offseason?
We got to sign.
I'm not talking about a veteran as far as depth. I'm talking about a veteran as far as somebody that's gone and done it before.
I wouldn't mind getting like a what's his name? Ryan Kelly from the Colts, the center. I think there's another guy.
There's a few good centers out at free agent this year, I think.
What'd you say?
I fear they're going to try to give Bates another go because he'll be healthy. That's what I'm fearing.
No, Bates is scout team quality, if that. Like, he's depth.
Foles loves him. He traded for him and he paid for him.
Right now, I'm just praying. I'm praying that for whatever reason the Ravens don't sign Staley. Like that's what I'm holding out hope for, because that would change everything. But
yeah, I hope you got a lucky rabbit's foot or a fucking 4-leaf clover over there as well.
Yeah, Trey Smith might be available.
I think
I heard about Trey Smith. That's a guy that I would like. The guard from Kansas City. I would like him as well. Yeah. I just think that they're going to need a mixture of youth and some guys in free agency. I also know that there's a list of guys that if they decide to cut, which is along Ryan Bates is on that list, Dominic Robinson, Who else is on there? Couple more people. Gerald Everett. That the salary cap will go up more, and we can possibly spend more on people that really ain't playing and really ain't helping the fucking team any damn way. So, but if you guys ain't got anything else to say, I think that would be a wrap. Congratulations to Ben Johnson being the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. Good luck to you in all your future endeavors. God damn it, bring us some winning. Please bring us some winning. I hope that you are everything that Bears fans and the so-called NFL pundits and everybody think that you are.
And let's go Buckeyes
Players.
tonight.
Hope
Let's
he's
go
everything the
big.
players want him to be.
Yeah, and the players want you to be too. So, for Crazy Ace, JB, EZ, Frank the Tank, the Crooked Commish, I'm Foul Mouth C. We like to say, peace out, we're done, and bear down, baby. Anytime.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
We still live.
Oh, we're still live.
Yeah.
Why does it look like this?
I don't know.